Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. This is Dragrace, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16, Episode 8 with my girl Psychic _ELB. What's up, mamas? What's going on?
It's good. It's your girl Psychic E at Psych. As you just said, you can find me on Instagram, Psychic _ELB. Anyway, I am doing well. I am Snatch Game.
Yes!
We finally have. We've hit the milestone. We've hit the milestone.
Girl, didn't we hit it?
Oh.
What?
That's a good question. You're like, did we hit it? And I'm like, well, I would not put this down. This does not go down in history as one of the better ones.
No, I can tell you that right now. Yeah. Especially that preliminary in the workroom banter. I'm like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I wouldn't even see the read. None of them even had any like great reads in the reading challenge either, and that's another milestone. Part of RuPaul's Drag Race is the reading challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, Plasma is an overachiever. Plasma's gonna have some.
Yes.
Plasma is gonna jump in where she fit in, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
That's that on that. Plasma ain't playing with them hoes. Everything Plasma gets to do, she's gonna try and be an overachiever.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Theater kid, 100%.
There you go.
Overachiever theater kid.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the Snatch Game, and then we had the runway with showcasing their, I guess, favorite type of dance or
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queens. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing Queens, and then we had some stuff going on with the queens, giving us a little background as they often do when they're getting ready and chopping it up betwixt themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think last time Q opened up about her struggles growing up, with poverty, which reinforced her whole Q persona, which, I mean, sometimes, we come out of, those things and we just are, and we excel. So we learned about a little bit about Saphira's family structure. Her dad passed. Was it during COVID initially? Was that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. And surprisingly, it was her stepdad, not her bio dad, that she called dad. And, sometimes, well, I will say oftentimes, let her folk go through the struggles of being disowned because of their choices of who they want to be versus who they grew up as.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the parents do it. Some parents do that mess. But luckily they came back together. And I think that was the sweet of the bitter from the tale that she told. And I'm so glad that they got to be, good to each other. But that last phone call, Saphira missed, and I can just imagine, that just sounds so heartbreaking.
Yes, very sad. There's usually, sadly, there are a lot of contestants on Drag Race that have very tearjerker, emotional stories.
Mm-hmm.
I love Saphira.
Mm-hmm.
I think Saphira is kind of like just a class act in all kinds of ways. And I really felt for her hearing her story.
Yeah.
It was so interesting because I think Saphira is a really is a really great blend of a very masculine man in a lot of ways, but
Mm-hmm.
that translating into this beautiful, strong woman. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And so, I think that the backstory that she shared goes right along with it.
Mm-hmm. And I want to clear something up real quick if I didn't make myself clear earlier. When I said when they choose to live their life, they're choosing to do what they were born to do.
Right.
Not like,
Yes. Sure. Yes.
I want to make that clear because some folks say, oh, it's not a choice. I get it. That's not what I'm saying. I just want to be clear that they're choosing how they want, how they prefer to live, not what society or tradition or whatever that was before. So just just to be clear on that. But
yeah, because we know sometimes they're, as Maddie Rance says, some of the children are quite crazy.
Shout out to Maddie Rance. He does his drag race of all the universe, if I'm not mistaken. Everywhere there's a drag race, Maddie is commenting. So shout out to Maddie Rance. And he also, he goes by he, right?
Yeah.
He does drag. What's his name?
Piece of Cake.
Piece of Cake. There you go.
Yeah, shout out to Maddie Rance. I just think Maddie Rance's perspective and the way that he always analyzes and reviews, I just really appreciate. I feel like, I feel like I'm listening to somebody who knows drag and has a very valid opinion.
Okay.
So, shout out
very
to Maddie
well
Rance.
Respected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but yes, always looks at it from, to me, like, what's the right word I'm looking for? Just the perfect balance of, like, if I were a contestant, here's what I would do. But this is obviously production. This is what the judges did. This is what is the puppet up the hand, hand up the puppet to move things along. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving things along, child.
Right?
Let's get to the Snatch Game.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, now no edges was snatched this season. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But it was some funny moments, especially when Q, who was Amelia Earhart.
I do agree. I'm sorry, I jumped right over you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, I do agree with friggin' Dawn, though. She did sound just like the brick. Like, I know I'm jumping to Untucked, but when Dawn brought up it was like the same character, I know Q's your fave. I'm not saying this Amelia was bad, because it wasn't. Genuinely, I think, again, but it just was funny because once I once that was pointed out, I was like, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. But to be honest, Dawn wasn't as funny as Q.
No.
Dawn was a little flat.
Oh, Dawn was super flat to me. No, I agree. Dawn was super duper flat. She didn't really catch the, no, there was no spirit of Meghan McCain in that situation.
At all.
No, and honestly, I don't know, you couldn't have convinced me she was in the bottom too,
This whole episode, I was surprised at who was up for elimination, to tell you the truth, on everything.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see it. I didn't quite see it the way they did either. But no, honestly, I would have put her in the bottom. I guess they're not ready to let her go. But can I be honest with you? I kind of am. No offense to Dawn. I think they're keeping Dawn because of the shady little comments and how she's really unafraid to just be a pot stirrer, so to speak. But I don't know. I'm just I'm underwhelmed.
Me too.
I'm underwhelmed.
And speaking of underwhelmed, Tsunami moves, child.
Oh, girl, you fell flat. Now,
Yeah.
this one was
Ooh.
undeniably in the bottom. Yep.
I'm over here shaking my head like, child, you
Yeah.
said nothing funny at all.
And your costume's weird. No offense. Like, you know, like it was not like what the blazer and like if you are the queen of gold teeth, like I needed gold teeth glamour. I needed grill excellence. I needed, you know, like
Hello.
I needed streetwear eleganza. I needed a badass biatch with gold teeth and jewelry. I needed all of it. I needed.
That's what I'm saying. She should have looked a lot more expensive.
Like even like New York like mafia wife or some shit. But like give me like, you know, I don't understand what this reception at like, you know, the doctor's office or like, you know, this is the doctor's wife filling in.
Receptionist.
Yes, this is like the doctor's wife filling in because somebody called in sick to the front office.
Girl, you ain't never lied.
That's what this looks like.
Chad, I would have been roasting her at the Snatch Game. Girl, yeah. If you don't look like the same thing we saying, I would have been you know what? When all else fail, roast who's there with you.
Yes. Yeah. I just think none of them, well, I mean, a few of them, but like, this is a hard one. This is a truly hard one. This has taken down many a megastar. You know, Trixie Mattel very famously had one of the worst Snatch Games ever on her season playing RuPaul. So, you know, but like, it was very clear Tsunami just couldn't get into a rhythm with it because unfortunately she didn't really have a clear enough idea of who this character was.
And it's something she made up though.
Yeah, so she really should have had an idea. The same example of that is what Maya did with Shaquita, whereas Maya was able to dig into her Miami background and it was like, I know this girl, so she's gonna have a persona that I can play with.
It made it funny. It's all about being creative. I mean,
yeah.
And now she won the preliminary snatch, but
the reading challenge.
The reading challenge, but didn't come through here. But even during the reading challenge, I didn't see how she won.
Yeah,
it must have been on the cutting room floor or something. Because, child, I don't know.
I don't think any of them were that good. Some people like didn't even get a full read. So I just think the Snatch Game and the reading challenge showed that this is not the most nimble of Snatch Game casts. I think it was season 14 had a pretty disastrous Snatch Game as well. So, you know.
Speaking of, this was horrible also. Yo, girl.
I know. I know. Listen, they can't be good at everything. No, I mean, this is just where, like, it's all right. You know, can't win them all.
You sure can.
Can't. Didn't win and didn't with this one. She
I
has a very. Yeah, I mean, she just has. I think what she said really just came through, like having a hard time, like, spontaneously letting loose, you know, because I think she had her plan. She was gonna do the weird monkey sounds. That was gonna be her offbeat thing. But Snatch Game truly is a situation where you have to be limber enough to go with something.
Yeah, that's not her forte.
No, it's not. Thank you. Perfectly put. This is not your forte, and that was obvious.
Girl. Poor thing.
Oh, she'll be fine.
But child, who else was up there? So we got speaking of, yes, Shaquita, Trina's cousin. She had bling on.
Yes.
Tsunami should have borrowed some of her bling.
Well, mine should have borrowed somebody's titty plate. I hate this. It's so distracting, like how bad it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did look kind of bad. It didn't look
It
right.
did.
Yeah.
It didn't. I mean, you're giving the picture you chose is like the best view of the whole time. And listen, you've seen them and so have I. There are titty plates that are great. I get that they're expensive, but like this is not the one that you should know.
Girl.
Mm-mm.
I feel bad. It didn't look all that great. Yeah, let's take her off.
Terrible.
Now I liked but I keep wanting to call her Moni Love.
And she looks nothing like her.
What's her name?
Morphine.
Dion.
Love. That's why.
Girl. Phone stop.
That's why.
I think she did good. I liked her whole shtick with, calling folks poor and lying and everything. The same thing.
I just didn't think it was that bad.
Me either.
Because I had already heard that she was in the bottom and all that stuff, right? Because if you don't watch Drag Race the second it's out, your social media is going to ruin it for you, or YouTube is with what you pack in. And I just didn't quite. I'm like, maybe it's me, but I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't think she's that sucky,
right?
And honestly, like, I think that. Maybe the reason that this didn't land is that none of them are familiar enough with Anna Delvey to see that, like, she kind of like was pretty funny, kind of close to like what's going on, So, yeah, this was an interesting one.
And who else was on there? James Brown. When Rue called out her shoes, the same shoes that she was wearing all season, I cracked. Oh, these ain't the same shoes.
I know, but like, did you see? They had like a cutout on the side, and like they were your working shoes.
Girl, I was cracking all the way up. Like, oh my God, this is funny.
Well, here's an example of somebody that understood what they were playing well enough to be loose and to like rock with it, because that became a moment. And I don't know why. For me, Saphira won. I actually preferred her over Plain Jane, and I preferred her runway over Plain Jane for sure.
Really?
Yeah, this one, honestly, like, I would have given it to Saphira. I mean, let's put it, Plain Jane had a few like really good shots with that like Russian voice, and that was funny and all of that. But like, I'm ready for Saphira to have like, I don't know, I was just ready for Saphira to have an episode win,
Oh, damn.
And this ponytail is not thick enough. Plain Jane, your wigs suck. They are meager on your big old head. Yeah, no, every time I think the wigs are a little too small and the ponytails are so thin. You did not spend enough money on wefts, ma'am. I'm just gonna say that.
And it was sad.
I mean, yeah. And look, I mean, she wants to be dead. She wants to be cuttingly honest when it suits her, and then say, "Oh, I didn't mean to offend." And I kind of get it. She almost has like, I get it. I do. I'm just like, well, if you can dish it, you could take it. And she doesn't seem to be able to do that so well. She's like kind of biting back at anybody who criticizes her on Twitter. And it's like, girl, you better, the way you play. But I know, I think she did a great job, though. I'm not denying that. I think it was absolutely between her and Saphira.
Yeah, I thought those two were the funniest. That they kept Rue bent over, slapping her knee like, child.
Yeah, no, I also like kudos to Saphira for taking the James Brown comment and remembering it and running with it. There was just enough that, I don't know, like I said, I think the two of them both did an excellent job. I could see arguments for both winning. And but I just kind of preferred Saphira.
Right. Well, I'm kind of mixed, but I like both of them, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe Saphira did a little more joshing than what was her name?
Don't ask.
So,
Svetlana something, I think.
girl, what?
So,
Hey,
I don't know. So.
all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But I love the Snatch Game. Girl, I will go back.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Plasma.
Oh, we showed it. You know what? Because I couldn't
Well,
get her picture.
well,
Let me
listen,
see if it came through.
well,
No,
I'll
not
just say
really.
this. Patty, it was a forgettable thing. That's why.
Oh, now see.
And I know exactly who Patty LuPone is, and I
Me
love
too.
her. And I didn't think a Plasma had enough, like, I guess was like able to like have answers and stuff. But I do agree with the Untucked kind of critique that she was more trying to play a character than she was trying to make jokes. It was a very forgettable. It was like adequate theater kid moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But she
But
just won, so it's fine.
Patty LuPone is always on Broadway, from what I remember. After the TV show went out,
Life
was that
goes
Life
on.
Goes On or something like that?
Oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on. Yep.
Girl, we used to watch that in high school.
I
That show was
know.
so good.
Yes, it was with
That
Corky.
show was so good. And you know what? With us, a lot of, us kids coming from LA and the outskirts of LA and everything, it really and we would always talk about Corky because he has Down syndrome. And I don't know about anybody else, but with our group, not just friends, but with our school, it's a very small school, high school that I went to. Everybody knew everybody. The whole school, it was in downtown Los Angeles, and the whole school was less than one grade of just it was the whole school was less than one grade of a regular high school.
Oh, okay.
And so, it was very small, close knit. And we would always have discussions about special needs and stuff like that. And I can honestly tell you by the end, as the school years went on, we were a lot more sympathetic and in tune with people who were, I guess, disabled or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really taught us how to treat people who were different, who needed help. Because a couple of kids that came to our school were in wheelchairs and whatever. And I just saw a difference. I saw a shift in how they were treated. They weren't ever treated badly. And it just made us more aware. And well, I know that happened with us at school. So, you know how they say you never know how things will affect people. It could help people do this and do that. Well, it did for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we always talked about, girl, we was doing our own YouTube at the school, just talking about it every week it came on. Just see so-and-so and so-and-so. Girl, it was a good show.
Mm-hmm. It was. So speaking of, we're on to the runway now?
Yeah, girl, the runway. We are on to the Queen. Say it again.
Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queens. Thank you. Now, my girl Q.
Mm-hmm.
I like the outfit. I thought it was a good choice considering no rhythm,
Right.
no R, no H, no Y, no T, no H, and definitely no M.
Yep.
Poor thing.
She was just straight up safe. She was straight up safe this episode, and very well made garment. We know she made it. You were solidly safe this episode, ma'am.
I really love the
In
detail,
performance.
though.
Yeah, no, I
Look at
mean,
that.
yeah, Q's an artist. Q's an artist in
Just
what she
out of
constructs.
this world. Just dots eyes, and crosses the T's.
In
Just
what she
out of this
constructs.
world. Just dots I's and crosses the T's when it comes to her coming out on this runway, except for that bathing suit. That was real plain. No, no shade. But
Yeah.
other than that, A++ each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we got the infamous Dawn. Polka.
Whatever. I didn't understand how this was elevated to fashion. I'm like, this looks exactly like what the fuck they wear at Oktoberfest. Like, I don't see any reinterpretation of this. Whatever. Like I said, Dawn is just not it's just not panning out for me. I was very intrigued by Dawn in the beginning. Not to say that I wouldn't maybe be more interested in Dawn at like an All-Stars time, but like it's just not, just not panning out for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see Dawn on an All-Star show. I really don't see it.
You never know which ones decide to do it. Do you know what I mean?
But to be picked, I mean,
personality-wise, though, she is a little pistol in the workroom, so that's another reason why you could get invited back. It's personality.
I mean, she was on the low totem pole for the Snatch Game. In my opinion, also the low totem pole for the I keep forgetting it, Dancing Queens.
Oh yes.
And she just skated on by. I don't know, maybe girl.
I mean, honestly, if she had gone this episode, I would have been fine. Like
Me too.
Anyway, so but I also get like they're clearly not ready to part with her yet, and I think it's because of the way she stirs things up in the workroom or in Untucked. But that's whatever. Bye. I've already spoken about her more than I even care to.
Now here's another one that skated by this week. Even though her runway is killer, killer Mike. I mean, each and every time, even with the bananas, she has. I think that is the only reason why she is still here for episode 9, because girl.
Honestly, I think that she did skate by, but I think that because of how strong her runways are, I don't think we're even ready for her time to go in any way yet. I mean, so she definitely is proving to be a queen that like is not as strong in certain elements, but we have other ones that are like that as well. But but these runways are nothing but a treat. Nothing
they
but a
really
treat.
are.
And really, really beautifully referential to Asian culture. And I'm so here for that.
Me too. I was really intrigued at this whole dance. Now, even though they're coming out in the garb that is representative of the dance, I didn't, just real quick, going back to Dawn, she didn't do any dancing.
I didn't see any polka-ing.
She just sashayed in that outfit.
Yeah. Yes. No, Nymphia looked stunning.
Speaking of the opposite of drag you.
I love her. I loved it. She had movement. She moved. Like you said, speaking of doing the dance, you know what I mean? I love this wig. I love this. I loved it. I loved it.
Let me tell you. Like when I reference back to our high school, we made up our own we called it our own sorority, but it was one guy in it and he's gay. So he was cool with calling it a sorority. It wasn't a sorority.
Yeah, he's a sorority sister. Yeah.
And we girl, the name girl, we were called Phi E. Easty Phi Easty. Can you imagine? And we had the whole persona of, you know what Easty is, right?
No.
You don't know what Easty is? Oh my God. Okay. Easty is a real ghetto-fied persona, and it referenced the east side of Los Angeles, not the cholos and the Hispanic folks.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But the girl, because it was hey, if you know, you know. For those of us who are in Southern California, growing up, 80s, 90s, late early 2000s, we had, and probably still do, this term. Oh, she acting real. Oh, she real easty. It was really the east side of the 110.
No, I get it. I mean, because Long Beach has, for sure, the direction, the regions that you are in dictate something for sure.
There you go.
I totally get.
So that was our thing, and we had, we made up our own everything. We had our step, and that was when, you know, the big HBCU movement, Different World was out and all that, and they were showcasing all the different HBCUs, and everybody had on their gear and their Malcolm X hats and all that stuff, right? Malcolm X was out, all that stuff. And so we had our own dance, our own step, and I'm not even going to repeat what it was. We're not going to go there. Just trust me.
I do.
We have so much fun. Oh, I remember the steps too, and that's why I'm really in tune with HBCUs. It was just an exciting moment with all the stepping and everything. But yeah, this brought me back.
Yeah, she looks great.
Like, yes.
It has fun movement. I'm here for it.
Girl, yes. Next, so the Easty movement.
I was like, is this what you mean with Miss Legs over here?
Girl, with the ketchup and mustard. I think that's what Carson Chrisley said.
Yeah.
She looks like if ketchup and mustard had a fight with a knight, or what did he say? Or
yeah, something. I'm like, instead of salt and pepper, it's ketchup and mustard.
Oh shoot. Yeah, you know, do the bankhead bounce.
You know, I keep saying that all of her outfits didn't come through, and I feel like this is another one where it was like, I could tell she was not necessarily referencing, because it was 90s R&B, and I was like, who though? Like, nothing about it screamed like recognizable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's one of those struggled queens.
Yeah.
And hopefully she got at least one or two more professional looking outfits in her bag, because no telling what's gonna happen these next 4 weeks, child.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like her, don't get me wrong, but she's another mid one for me that, like, you know, is just not up to the same standard as some of the other queens. Right. I honestly, if I were gonna do 90s, I would think that an amazing reference would be the TLC or Salt and Pepper, like really baggy, you know what I mean? Like the suspenders unzipped, or like, you know, like give me like, or the red light special outfit or something. I don't know, but just, or like super duper Mary J. Blige. Anyway.
I think that's where she was going, like sexy hip hop, you know, tight, but it just wasn't really doing what it didn't give what it was supposed to give, pretty much.
Thank you. Succinct. Agreed.
Then we got, of course, the beautiful Tsunami Muse.
Yeah.
What is that called? What's she doing?
Salsa.
Thank you. Looking great doing it. And those colors really hit, because
right?
All that. I love a champagne.
Yeah. Didn't she? It was like a champagne lilac. You know what I mean? It was
yes.
Like, and the sheen she created, like, just Lady ma'am, we know you're a beautiful queen. You got a charisma to you. You have come
Mhm.
such a long way from those workroom entrance pants where I thought that listen, they did not represent who you
Yeah, don't
are.
never get them pants up.
Oh, I'm never gonna let that go. Because when she walked in that entrance room outfit, I was like, oh my God. And
Girl,
boy, did she surprise. She's a beautiful queen. This is a stunning
for
look. It
real.
had movement. She moved it right on the stage. She's a queen that can wear a tiny wig.
For
She's a
real.
lady. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
And her home girl, Monty Love. I'm just kidding.
You know,
Morphine Love Dion.
she's a beautiful queen. I didn't need
Sure is.
another outfit in latex, which is what this looks like. Like half the and she needed to I'm just gonna be honest, I do not like the way the highlight reads on this runway with the makeup highlight she's got. Like she's too white to me. Um, like it's almost ghostly. But I mean she's beautiful. This is a beautiful look. She didn't need the rose in her mouth as much as she had it. I found that to be annoying. But whatever, that's nitpicking. This is a solidly, beautiful
Yeah,
look.
and she had it in her hair. So it's
Yeah.
really either or.
Yeah, because it's like you having a rose in your mouth didn't like elevate this costume to the next level. So whatever.
Yeah, I've seen them take it out of their hair and put it in their mouth, but not
Yeah.
having at the same time. But I thought it was cute though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, this was definitely like again, I didn't think her um Snatch Game deserved to be in the bottom, and I don't think a runway did either,
Me
But
either. Hello.
so, but here we are.
Then we got Plain Jane, Latin Ballroom, looking fabulous and gorgeous and all of the things. Yes, Plain. Yes.
Yeah,
Just beautiful.
I preferred um Tsunami's look to this one. There's something about I mean, yeah, she looks pretty and all of these things. I don't know, there's just something about Plain's Plain has a big head. Like she does. And I don't know. There's a little bit of smallness to it. I don't know. I was underwhelmed a little bit, to be honest with you.
What I think, she get it from her grandma. Remember, she said her if you remember, her grandma was a pistol, and she being there reading just like everybody else. She probably would have won a Snatch Game if she was alive. Rest in peace to grandma over there in the USSR. But that, she said, she comes from a hard family, and you can just imagine. I don't want to say
Yeah.
that's offensive, but I'm just going to say she came
Oh,
from a hard family.
Russians are very homophobic. I'm just gonna say that in a generalization. I mean,
I can believe it.
it's very, very tough to be. Their culture there is like in Russia itself is very homophobic. So yeah, I can only
I can
imagine.
believe it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Plain Jane, she looked very pretty. It was a beautiful outfit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looking great. And last but not least, Plasma with her tap, baby, getting it in. Getting it in, doing it. She said, "This ain't no Memorex. This is live. You can hear my feet tippity tapping." I know
She
that's
is
right,
so
theater
funny.
kid.
She is so funny. And I'm really tapping with tap shoes. Bitch, we could tell. Like, you're a theater kid. Like, shocking. You know what I mean? Cute little cute little hoofer. Bob and Monet, when they reviewed this, they actually, I think Bob was saying that he was looking for a reveal, like somehow, like she'd take the jacket off or something that like the outfit kind of begged for like some kind of like something else. And I would say that I honestly really agree with that critique. But Plasma did just fine. This is a cute little outfit, tippy tap dancing, yes, you are right in line with the persona you portray, which is theater kid.
Get it, Plasma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall why Plasma is her name. Do you recall why she's going by Plasma?
Sure don't.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and review.
Girl. And that was pretty much it for the entertainment of it all. We got, like I said, we got to hear a little bit about their backgrounds, Crystal's dad, and Plain Jane's pistol-toting grandma. She wasn't taking no shorts from nobody. But the end was what it was. You know, it came down to, and we both do not agree, RuPaul and them.
No.
It came down to Morphine, Dion Love versus Tsunami Muse. And off the rip, I knew that they kept Nymphia win because of her runway. They kept Dawn for whatever the reason, maybe because she's just different, and they wanted to keep it going because they both bombed. Sorry, in those at the Snatch Game, and also with their well, not Nymphia with her runway, but Dawn should have definitely been there because her runway was not great, nor was her Snatch Game was even worse.
Yeah, I would have switched out Morphine with Dawn. To me, like, and it's like, no offense, but like I understood that Tsunami was kind of the one that was up for elimination, like as far as like talent wise and all of these things. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I just kind of knew what was up, and knew Morphine wasn't going home because they weren't ready for her to leave yet. So, but yeah, I thought that was a little weird. I think we both agree. A lot of people thought Morphine did really crappy, and I was like, when I was watching it, I was genuinely like, this does not seem as bad as other people have reviewed it to be. So, but she shuffled, you know, she gave it she took her skirt off and did the split.
Okay. And it was so touching because, like I said, I had some tears in my eye that came down when they were just dancing with each other because, you know, they homies to the end. And it was just so touching because one of them shouldn't have been there. And just to see that they had to, and, you know, they did it together. They came together and they battled together. And it was just so emotional.
Yeah, no, it was cute when I think, did Tsunami say, let's give them a show or something like that? I was like, oh, yeah, no, it was this one thing I will say that, like, I can definitely tell a lot of the cast on this season really, really do like each other and, like, became really good friends. And I enjoy that. So, you know, I just kind of knew where we were headed with the whole thing. I think the one thing I was interested in is that Morphine is more than just a BBL. She can split that thing, you know, so... you know, I wasn't blown away or anything, but I was like, all right, okay. I mean, and she is undeniably a stunning queen.
Really is.
Yeah.
Well, see you later, Tsunami. We will catch you. I'm sure we're going to see you somewhere soon.
On tour, doing the things, making appearances. Yes, we know you are a Ru girl now. You are a bona fide, you know, contributor. You still had one of the best outfits from the whole episodes thus far with that Humpty Dumpty, the reveals, you know what that was amazing. So you made up for those pants when you walked in the workroom. I'm like, Alex, I won't let some go.
Janet Jackson in them pants. Shout out to Alexander Rogers. Oh my God. Well, that was it. Any final words for this episode, Mama?
No. Thank you for your services.
All righty. And that was it, y'all. If you haven't seen it already, we hope that we delivered a great review for you. And if you want to go see it, go ahead and check it out. Also, go check out Untucked. Exactly the information we got is from both Drag Race and Untucked, like we always do about this time. And that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And we will catch you next week for episode 9 or 10. Yeah, episode 9. Yep. And let us know where we can find you if you Miss Psychic ELB.
Yes, hit me up on Instagram at psychic_ELB. Let me know that you are sent by Ray Ray. If you're Ray Ray all day, we need to have a name for your followers, like the all dayers or something. Anyway,
We're gonna figure it out.
yeah, just say Ray Ray all day sent you. You'll get a friends and family discount. You can also check me out. I kind of guest host emotional support animal, like I said, for Alexander Rogers. We do have a show called The Highs and the Lolos that we try to get out somewhat regularly. So you can always check me out on that channel as well.
And thanks again for coming through, my friend. And we're going to catch you next time. Thanks, y'all. See you later. Ray, Ray.